Hey guys, it's Stephanie Mitchell here. I'm an online marketing coach for independent beauty professionals, and I have such a good treat for you. Today, I am sharing an interview with one of my all time favorite estheticians who happens to be my student, Gen Santos Beauty. She is a solo esthetician who opened her business 1 year ago. And in the past year, she has gone from having 10 clients who followed her from Ulta Beauty to over 200 clients. And how did she do that? How did she build her clientele from scratch? How did she get her name out there? She used Facebook and Instagram ads. She has been one of the star students in my program, the Ad Lab. And today I wanted to dive deep into how did she start her business? How much money did she start out with? Where did her clients find her from? How did she decide to jump into advertising? What kind of things did she advertise? What did her ads look like? So much good stuff. Genevieve is going to share with us her journey to opening her very own suite, her very own spa suite, and how she got to where she is, which is building a successful business, especially building a successful clientele using Facebook and Instagram ads. I'm so excited to learn from Genevieve. She's got so many good nuggets to share with us about building a sustainable business. And without further ado, let me jump into my interview with her. Awesome.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah, let's get started. So, Genevieve, thank you so much for jumping on with me. I'm really pumped up to learn more about you, about your business, and about your experience using advertising to grow. So, just to get started, can you tell us a little bit about your business, what you do, how long ago you got started, all that good stuff?
Sure. So I've been an esthetician for 8 years, and but I've worked in different companies, and I'm also an aesthetics teacher. So I actually started my business in 2000 last year, and I started it around July, August, but I officially opened my doors in September
Okay.
of last year. So I thankfully didn't get too affected by COVID.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just been a wild journey. Like if you told me January 2021 that I would be starting my own spa, I'd have been like, no way. But luckily, uh, the stars aligned. I saw an old college friend who owned a salon in Long Island. I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually originally from Queens, and my salon or my spa is in Long Island, which isn't too far. It's about a 25-minute drive,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't yeah, like I was just in it, like when you just know that you need to start something for yourself,
Yeah.
it just keeps nagging at you. And so for me, that it happened, and she luckily was looking for somebody to occupy a room in her salon.
Oh,
And
cool.
from then on, I just started, and I actually got started by doing pop-up facials in her
Mm-hmm.
space, because like I had that relationship with her.
Yeah.
And so I said, I'm not ready to commit to a room yet, but can I do pop-up facials so that I could see what the demand is for my services? And then I had that flexibility. I paid her a percentage, and then from those 2 months of doing pop-up facials, I was able to start my own spa officially and move into the space
Oh my gosh, that's
within two
so
months.
cool. It sounds like you said, like the stars aligned perfectly for that all to work out. Did you come as someone who had a few years experience working in another spa as an employee?
Yes, I worked at Ulta Beauty for 5.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then during the pandemic, they closed down skin services, and I just was ready for something new. So I left. And then once things started to open up, I started working at Hand and Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And Hand and Stone Spa, that's a franchise in New
Okay.
York. It's all over the country, but they have places in Long Island. And so my clients from Ulta followed me to Hand and Stone. And
Oh,
then when I
cool.
told them, hey, cut your membership, I'm going to start my own spa, then they followed me here.
Oh my gosh. So how did you I always kind of like wonder how that works. So how did you end up like contacting the clients from Ulta, let's say, to move them over to the new place that you were working?
hmm it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because I tell my students, like, if you're going to move from a place of employment into your own spot, do not assume that your clients will follow you.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want the karma to spread to you either.
Yeah,
But I didn't feel guilty because Ulta stopped doing facials.
right.
So, I had no problem. Like, I stayed in touch with a lot of my clients through Instagram.
Okay,
I
cool.
text some of them. I was in touch with them through text message.
Mm-hmm.
So when I told them that I was going to be doing pop-up facials, I asked them if they'd be willing to come to Long Island. Because my original location was in Queens. So it was a bit of a commute for some of them, but
How
they've
far
been
is that? Like
sticking
half
with
an hour
me.
commute?
From Queens, it's about like from my house to the spa, it's about 25 minutes. But if
Okay.
you're driving into the city, into Manhattan, it's about like an hour drive
Okay. All
with
right.
traffic.
But
Yeah.
a lot of them were willing to do that and like do the
Yeah.
commute, come all the way out
Yeah.
to Long Island.
Yeah. Yeah. About like 35, 40-minute drive.
Yeah. So you had a few years experience at Ulta and then for a little while you worked at Hand and Stone. That's what it's called, right? Hand and
Yeah.
Stone.
Hand and Stone. Yeah.
How long were you there for?
I was just there for like 8 months.
Okay. But you like I guess built up your experience and then you also like got to meet more clients there.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
oh sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, like, when you started doing those pop-up facials, how many clients would you say that you were able to convert to actually go over and try you out at the new location?
Oh, I mean, I had an average of about 4 to 5 clients per day, and
Mm-hmm.
I did maybe 4 or 5 pop-up facials for the month. So that was like 10 days that I was able to, build up my capital, my
Yeah.
startup capital. So I don't know, like, I always, not all of them like ended up following through with like coming regularly, but I just had to look back and say, you know what, if it wasn't for my clients at Ulta that followed me temporarily,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to start my own place.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
like, yeah, because like unfortunately the salon that I was working out of, they didn't really have clients that, ended up coming to me.
Right.
So it happens. Like, I just I was hoping that would happen. I was hoping that they would bring me clients, but it didn't. So luckily, I had my own following, even if it was like, it was about like 10 to 20 people that I
Yeah.
stayed in touch with, but like not, maybe like 10 ended up following me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's still that probably also gave you the confidence boost too of like, oh my gosh, I'm not starting from like complete zero. I have
Yeah.
some people who are supporting me and I know that they love me enough to like want to move over and try me in this new place. So
Yeah.
did you know how much I love email marketing? Did you keep in touch with them through email too? If not, that's okay. I'm just curious.
Not in the beginning. I ended up doing email marketing when maybe like this year,
Mm-hmm.
but 2022. So but it was mostly through text message and phone conversations.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So you started doing those pop-up facials and you were paying like a percentage, I guess, of every facial you would go to the salon that you were renting the little space from. Is that
Hmm.
how it worked? Um,
Yes.
so how did you get to the point financially where you were like, okay, now I've got enough money and how did you get to the point, like client wise, where you were like, okay, I feel confident that if I, rent this space, this room from my friend, that I'm going to be able to like pay my rent and like maybe make a little bit of extra money too.
Yeah, I mean, it was after like 2 months where I just felt ready that, what, I have enough money for like 2 months of rent. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it wasn't perfect. It really wasn't perfect. Because like I realized that, okay, I at least I have like the basic necessities to perform a facial, and
Yeah.
like my hands were like enough.
Yeah.
So I needed a good steamer. I didn't go crazy on too many machines. I
Mm-hmm.
had a microdermabrasion machine. I had a table, of course. But even then, like a lot of things that like they actually ended up supplying me because like they didn't really have any need for the extra furniture in the room.
Right.
So it was, and then I had like my little cart from Michael's. Michael's is a craft store.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had that to hold my products. I had the support of I use Image skincare in my spa,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually was able to like I do profit first in my business,
Oh yeah, I love
and
Profit
yes,
First.
so I actually had oversaved on my taxes, and so I had an extra money from my taxes to invest in like a product line.
Yeah.
So because like usually some product lines require like an opening order, and so I was
Mm-hmm.
able to do that. So I felt like with the product steamer, my hands, I was good to go.
Yeah. So was it, I guess, when you first opened, like you first like officially opened your doors to this new suite, it was what kind of emotions did you feel?
It felt like when I got to rent the space, it felt like I had a sense of ownership.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like I'm moving into this space. I put this, well, my sister did the wallpaper for
It's
me.
so pretty. I love it.
Yes. And so, and then I just slowly invested in furniture. Like I realized like, okay, it's not going to be perfect for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
but like month two, like let's do this. But like really I just wanted to be in service to my clients.
Yeah.
I really, I didn't want to leave them hanging like, oh, sorry, I don't do facials anymore. So
Yeah.
I just felt like I just wanted to be in service to my clients.
Yeah. You were filling a need that you felt and that
Yes.
you had been communicated to about it. And that's such a great place to start from. So, when you started out, what was that thing that you decided, okay, I'm going to do this differently because I want to stick out? Like, I want to make myself different from other people that do facials. And I know, like, living in New York City, there's a lot of competition around. So, how did you decide that you were going to differentiate yourself?
I really focus on creating results driven facials. My clients do not undress. They just, lay on the bed. I put a blanket over them, and then I just get to work on their face. And so I do peels, microdermabrasion, um, and now I do hydrodermabrasion. I offer
Mm-hmm.
that service. And yeah, like I just really wanted to keep my focus on facials. I didn't really like, I don't really have the room for like doing Brazilians or other
Yeah.
services. And so I just really wanted to stick to, just giving, I really wanted to take care of my clients.
Yeah.
Like I'm not too concerned about like what outside people are doing. So I just try to focus on like how can I make my facial experiences better each time for my clients.
Yeah, amazing. So let's talk about advertising. So,
Yeah.
as I mentioned in the intro, when I was talking about what our interview is going to be about, you're one of my students in my program at the Ad Lab. And you've been in that program for almost a year now, I feel like.
Yeah, a
Maybe
year, more than a
even,
year.
yeah, more than a year. So in case anyone doesn't know, in the Ad Lab we learn how to do Facebook and Instagram ads to attract clients. What made you decide to jump into advertising? Like, what was it about your business that made you decide, like, okay, I've opened my doors, I've got those first, clients that followed me from where I was before, but like I'm ready for more? What made you decide to jump into ads?
Well, just looking at my numbers right now. So I started I started the program in October of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny part, I came across one of your Facebook, Instagram ads. And I was just like, all right, let me sign up for this webinar. I'm like a webinar junkie and like personal development junkie,
Yeah.
and I've signed up for so many online courses. And but this one, I told myself like this has to work because I have a business on the line here. It's
Yeah.
not like I was just kind of like, oh, let me learn a new hobby or let me learn a new trade, and see where it happens. Like, no, like you have a business that you need to apply this to.
Hmm.
So I signed up for your free webinar, and I was actually teaching my students at the same time virtually. But then I was like, oh, okay, guys, go on break, and then I would, tune into your webinar,
Yeah.
and so I just like the fact that I didn't have to focus on gaining more followers,
Yeah.
and like the pressure of that. And what I liked about your webinar was that you took outside, like, ads that didn't really work, and then you just gave feedback on, like, okay, this wouldn't work because blah 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 blah. And
Hmm.
like, I get so many ads for advertising for estheticians and hairstylists and makeup
Yeah.
artists, and it's so true. Like, I was just like, yeah, like, I don't feel compelled to sign up for this ad.
Yeah.
So I felt like what you were offering was different, but then
Hmm.
also I had a business on the line, because if for my numbers, I felt like it was fluctuating, because like, I only had my clients from Ulta and referrals,
Yeah.
and I just didn't have like a funnel to bring in new clients aside. They say, like, oh, you should network, go to the grocery store, give your
Hmm.
cards out, and I'm like, no, like, people, I don't know, like, I feel like we're in a different day and age, especially with COVID.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. So do you feel like so you had those 2 months of rent saved up. Did you feel like you needed to try something new because you just weren't busy enough and you're like, yeah, my business can't sustain in the way that it is right now?
Yeah, definitely, I needed to do something different. I wasn't sure, like, and I had just gotten started with my, like, booking platform, which offered
Hmm.
email and text marketing. I use Gloss Genius. I love Gloss
Oh,
Genius.
yeah. Hmm.
And so, I don't know, like, I just felt like there was only so much, like, my clients were coming in once a month. And, like, the moment that when they say, oh, I'm going to skip this month, and I'm like, no, come back to me.
Yeah. How many clients
So,
would you say, like regular clients, would you say that you had at that time before you started advertising?
my repeat clients, I was about, like, the most was 12, and the least was like 8.
Okay.
So, but the thing is that I charge, like, good pricing, so
Yeah.
that I was able to break even.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess you were also like, okay, like where do I go from here? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm familiar with that feeling because in the first few years in my business, like literal years in my business, I was just breaking even. I wasn't paying myself. And at a certain point, you're like, why am I doing this? Like I need to be able to make money and I need to feel like safe and secure and not have to like stress every time I look at my credit card bill.
Mm-hmm. And just so you know, like, I started my promo end of October, I think, of last year, November,
Hmm.
and my client jumped from 8 clients total to 20. So I
Amazing.
doubled within like 4 weeks.
Yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, tell me. Okay, so that was going to be my next question. Tell us about the first ad that you did. So, what did you decide to advertise? And what did your ad look like?
Okay, so I actually have a little debrief that I did.
Yeah, amazing.
So I did a winter ready package, and the
Mhm.
thing about your class was, like, I followed everything to the T.
Yeah,
So I didn't, like, I'm a good student like that. I'm
I
like,
know.
okay,
I've noticed.
and I told myself, like, you may have invested in courses in the past, like I have, and I just told myself, like, no, you need to follow this.
Hmm.
And what I liked about your course was that it was in bite-sized chunks, like I didn't have to watch like an hour webinar. Like I was able to watch it in less than 10 minutes, and then the implementation. So that's the key. You have to
Yeah,
take the time out to watch it, but then it's so short that, like, you go straight into implementation.
yeah,
I started off with the winter ready package, which was a facial, basically like a, I don't know, like a deep cleansing facial with microdermabrasion. But I'm really good at creating copy. So
yeah.
based on the many templates that you provided us, I was able to come up with my own template, and I offered it at 107.
Hmm.
And the total revenue generated was over $3,000.
Amazing.
And the campaign was about 2 months. It was 2 months. It was November into December.
November into
Um,
December. Okay.
yeah, so I did this debrief maybe like in January, and
Yeah.
then I had about 23 clients that purchased, but and then what else? I actually got a lot, like, because the cool thing about creating a video based on your
Hmm.
guidelines, I posted it on my social media. I
Yeah.
posted this on Facebook groups that I was allowed to post on. And I got so much support. So like this is like, you don't have to just limit yourself to ads. Like
Yeah.
if you got to be respectful of the Facebook group rules because a
Hmm.
lot of them don't allow for advertising, but thankfully like I'm a part of some that do.
Yeah.
And I actually have like my ethnicity is Filipino, and I
Hmm.
got a lot of people from the Philippines,
Oh,
like
no
Filipinos in the
kidding.
community wanting to support my business
Oh,
through the
wow.
Facebook groups. So like just put it out there. You never know. I had like two or three clients booked from my personal circle, but but the Facebook ads, whew, like that helped double my numbers.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
like the $3,000, it was probably like 4,000 because like you get gratuities.
Hmm.
So I just factored in like the cost of the facial, or
The
the
treatment
the
itself.
price
Yeah.
of the facial. Yeah.
That is so cool. So, can you tell us again? It was your winter ready package, and what was the service that you were advertising?
It was a deep cleansing facial with microdermabrasion
Okay.
and a hand treatment.
Okay. And you felt like this, how did you choose that as the service that you wanted to advertise?
Oh, so I have shared this with some of my students. I divided the primary services from
Hmm.
the secondary services, which is what you teach. Because the one thing that I was scared of was I don't want to be a discount person. I don't want
Yeah.
to do on group. I don't want to do Groupon. I was just very like against that and discounting in general.
Yeah.
And so I just knew that like my primary services, I was not going to go lower than that. But
Hmm.
I was just and I came up with the hand treatment just like on the fly. Like, at first I was gonna do like an exfoliating treatment on the hands, but that was like too messy. So I just
Hmm.
ended up buying like hand mittens, like electric hand mittens on Amazon. And like I know these are like my secrets. I hope my customers don't see this. But but yeah, like it was just so easy. Like you put some lotion and then you put a plastic bag and then you put the
Yeah.
mittens over it. So I was just like, oh, that's a nice like treatment. So I
So
was
you were
able to.
creating, you had your primary service and then you were adding on some nice bonuses and kind of getting creative with it too, of like, what can I add on
Yes.
to this to make this even more like pampering and like,
Mhm.
something that people love the experience of. I love that.
Yeah, I think the key is
Yeah.
adding value, and that's something that I've learned over the last like year, from your teachings. I
Hmm.
also follow Raya Schwartz.
Oh yeah, Ray is
And
amazing.
yes, I took her course, and like I was just like, oh, that's what I do already in my promotions. Like I love that I was already kind of like in creating that momentum already.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then you did a video. Was that something new for you? Like it was that kind of like, ooh, like this is a little bit challenging.
No, not at all. I'm an extrovert. I'm people oriented. I
Yeah.
love being on video. Sometimes like I get stuck with like, what am I going to talk about? I don't want to talk about it. Oh,
Hmm.
I'm a perfectionist. But for this, I filmed all my videos for the ad on my iPhone.
Hmm.
I made sure to record clips, like a minute, so that it was easier to edit.
Yeah.
Um, I was able to enlist my niece to hold the camera for me.
Hmm.
Um, and the one tip that I loved from you was you have to be like extra bubbly on camera.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And oh yeah, like I had to do that. So it made like every time like I got more bubbly, like that's the cut that I went with.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like while you're doing it, you feel so in a way ridiculous because you're like, this is way too exaggerated. Like this is going to look so fake. But when you're not doing it and you're just talking like you do on normal everyday life on camera, once you look back at it, it looks very flat. So yeah, having that like extra enthusiasm makes such a big difference. So in your video, you were showing like clips of the treatments that you do, and I remember you
Yeah.
were like welcoming people into your space, like opening the door for
Mm-hmm.
them, letting them in, that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your video was so good. So you said that you ended up booking 23 clients directly from that ad. Was that right? 23?
Let's see. I had 20 in the first month, and then 25 in I didn't get to calculate exactly how many ads I had, exactly how many came from ads, but it was
Mm-hmm.
definitely over 10 each month.
Yeah. Okay. So 20, let's say 20 clients over the course of the 2 months, which is amazing.
Mhm.
What was it like serving those clients? Like, was it different because you kind of didn't have any previous communication with them? What was the experience like for them? And what was the experience like for you having those new clients come in that found you from your ads?
It was really good. Like when I always get compliments on my video. They said, "Oh, I saw your video and I really liked it." And
Oh,
like the reason why like I have a lot of Filipinos coming to me because like they see my face right off the bat
right.
on camera, and so I did that. And actually, I did something different as time went on because, like, I didn't want to deal with cancellations that much. And
Right.
based on what you advise, we book it on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
But what I do now is whenever they said that they're going to, they're confirming that they want to take the appointment, I
Mm-hmm.
ask for their phone number and I
Yeah.
call them, and that's my first contact with them.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times it warms them up
Mm-hmm.
because like they hear me, they hear my voice. I introduce myself. I let them know, oh, we're gonna complete your appointment. I just need your name, email, phone, and I have their phone number already. I said, oh, I need to. I just need a credit card to hold your appointment, and they say yes. And that's the one thing that I do add, that I decided to add because I was getting cancellations last minute.
Yeah.
Um and what else? And there actually have been people like it's taken me a little bit to like turn down the people that don't want to give me a credit card over the phone, but I'm like, nope.
You've
I'd
got to set those
rather,
boundaries.
yeah, like I said, okay, do I want the headache of being on edge? Like they might cancel. What if they cancel? Like I don't want that anxiety. So I said, okay, well, thank you so much. Like I had one customer say, well, there's a lot of estheticians that wouldn't take my credit card. I was like, okay, well, I hope you find that esthetician then. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, it's so good that you're setting those kind of limits. And it takes confidence to do that. Like in my own business, I've found the confidence in the past few years to be able to say no to people, which is hard at the beginning, but then you realize
Yeah.
like I have to go ahead, I've got a business to run. So I'm so glad that you found that. So what was it like in December after you finished your winter ready package and you had finished running your ad? I guess that must have felt really good to you. Like what was the attitude like going into the new year, going into 2022?
Yeah. Well, the reason why I had to, I actually, that was the first time I actually had to shut down my ad because I ended up getting COVID at the end of the year when it
Oh
was
my
that whole
gosh.
like, outbreak during the
Yeah.
holiday
Yeah.
season. And so I was just like, well, there's no point in me trying to book people unless like I book them 3 weeks out. And a lot of people, when they book through the ad, they want to book within like 1 to 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
so but going into January, I just felt like, oh my God, this feels really good. I'm looking at my numbers here. I took better, like at least there's actually 1 month that I did where it was 90% of my new clients that month came from Facebook ads.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, I was
So
gonna ask you, okay, so you've been running ads for a year now.
yeah.
Looking back, I don't know if you have this number available, but like Do you know how much your clientele has grown, how much your revenue has grown because of your ads?
Yeah, okay. So I just added up all of just for 2022 alone. I've had
Mm-hmm.
64 new clients, and I've made at least 10,000 plus because of
Amazing.
gratuities. Because like, if I just add up the average of the price,
Mm-hmm.
the price of the packages that I've done, it's always between 95 to 110.
Yeah.
But then I always add on. I like you have to upsell them when they come in.
Yeah.
And and it's been, it was like between 8 to 10,000 that I've made so far.
Amazing. That's so good to know. And before I forget, like how much on average are you spending on your ads? Like either per day or per week or per month, however you calculate it.
Per month it's between 250 to 300.
Okay. And I guess like calculating that out on the months where you're running ads, you're making like 5 to 10 times that. Like you're making several
Hmm.
$1,000s from your ads.
Yeah. Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's so good.
can you tell me like those clients who've come in from your ads, so 64 people in 2022, are they rebooking with you? Are they the kind of client that comes back?
Most of the time. My retention rate is between 30 to 40%.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like you will get those people when they want a promotion. And that's the one thing that I've learned in my business, especially I just did an anniversary promotion for
Mm-hmm.
all my existing clients. I launched a hydrodermabrasion service and I gave it to them at a discount. And some people were like, "Oh, when's your next promotion?" I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay, let's come up with something new." So you just have to create that newness. But I think what I'm going to do for this holiday season is I'm going to create a holiday promo, but it's
Mm-hmm.
new clients are going to pay just a little more because I want to give the incentive for my recurring clients to come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. So, what do you do to rebook those clients who come in who find you either through your ads or just through word of mouth or somewhere else?
It's all in your verbiage. It's all, at the end of the service, I have a little card that I give. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. I have I printed this out through another company that had this. It's called the Skin Fitness Plan. I printed it out
Mm-hmm.
on like cardstock,
Oh, that's so
and
cute.
it goes over their skin analysis results, and it goes over their product recommendations and the
Cool.
treatment recommendations.
Yeah.
And I felt so naked when I didn't have this with one of my clients, because then I'm
Mm.
just telling them and like they don't remember. But when I give them like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I have a skin fitness plan for you. These are your recommendations for products,
Yeah.
and I would recommend coming back within 4 to 5 weeks for this type of facial.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have this open at this time. When would you like to come in then?"
Yeah.
And you just have to like it. Once it's a muscle.
Yeah.
Rebooking your clients, it's you just have to keep saying the same thing and offering them, like I said, adding value to your treatment.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be just there for that one facial and that's it. You want to give them an experience that they felt taken care of by the end of the treatment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love that. So would you say that for your ads, are you doing them like once a month, once every few months, just when you have like kind of like a slow period? How are you doing them?
No, like I mean, up until October, September. I don't even know when the first time I announced it. I think I was running them every week. I was running it every week. That was
Like
like
consistently
that.
over like
Yeah, consistently.
months of
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And then when I found that like I've had to stop. Let's say, for example, my daughter had to have like surgery, so
Mhm.
I turned that off. And I had COVID. I had to turn that off. But then
Yeah.
and right now, like it's turned off because I've had so many people book my anniversary special.
Yeah.
But I want to do another one because then like there's only so many emails that I could send out, text messages, which I do. I try to do an email once a month.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And because the good thing is that my booking system provides unlimited emails. I
Hmm.
just have like
Is
a
that
hundred
Gloss
text
Genius?
messages. Yeah,
Unlimited emails? Amazing. Okay,
yeah.
that's so cool. Yeah, I love that. And I wanted to know, what are your plans for 2023? Like, where do you want to grow in your business? You've got this, like, it seems like things are going really, really well. What are your goals for how you want to grow next year?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's okay to for it to. Well, I actually want to do an online course
Yeah,
for
amazing.
estheticians.
Yeah.
So, as much as I love doing facials, I really want to do training and
Yeah.
speaking. So that's what I'm looking forward to in 2023.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I'm just like every time I talk about Facebook ads, I was like, Facebook ads changed my business.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I can't help but like just be like so indebted to you because of all of the resources you share and like all the I watch your YouTube videos. I've anything that you do I like buy. And,
Amazing. Thank you.
and because it's worth like I could it's easy to follow so many different advisors because there's
Mhm.
like so many trainers in the salon industry, but I'd rather just stick to one, especially one that like speaks my language about
Mhm.
like funnels and email marketing and like so one thing that I'm looking to do in 2023 is like really maximize my email marketing. Like
Yes.
I want to create like a weekly email with like
Yeah.
skincare tips, and I want to create like a funnel so that every
Hmm.
time like I punch in a new email, they receive like a sequence of emails from me so that like I have that running in the background because that's the one
Yes.
thing I really want to take care of the clients. Like right now I have a roster of like 200 clients,
Hmm.
and I don't want to always be like I said, I love the ads, but like I really just want to cultivate the new ones because they're the ones
Oh,
that are
yeah.
going to give me referrals.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what and then I also want to see what I can do with Google and Facebook
Hmm.
groups, so yeah, like I'm just really wanting to just expand, but like just really be steady, not
Yeah. Yeah. Have that consistency. I love the combination of Facebook and Instagram ads and then email marketing together. That's like what I pair together. I've grown my email list so huge, partly because of my Facebook and Instagram ads. And those are that community, like you said, that I cultivate, that I keep going back to, and that grows with you. So Facebook and Instagram
Mhm.
ads are amazing. Like when you're starting out, when you were in exactly the situation that you're in, when you have slow seasons, when you're introducing something new, when you're ready to raise your prices and move with a different
Yeah,
type of clientele. But you don't just want to be on the hunt for new clients all the time and lose them. You want to cultivate them and grow them and create that community and loyalty with them too. So I'm so glad that that's part of your plans for next year.
yeah.
Final question. If someone is interested in doing advertising, they're not really sure like if it's right for them or they've got some doubts about it, what would be the one piece of advice you would give them?
Oh, it's so easy. I just tell them like invest in your course.
Okay, I promise
Like
I didn't know that you were going to say that.
no, like if you're concerned about, growth, especially when you're starting out, like it's worth doing the Facebook ads because you don't have to, I don't always have to dance online to get people to come see me.
Yeah,
And like to be honest, like when I look back at my sources, like none of my new clients came from just posting.
on
Like
Instagram. Yeah.
yeah, like if it came because I did the advertising, or I posted on a Facebook group, or
Mhm.
I posted it for my social media. But like honestly, like it's just advertising, like and interestingly enough, like my clients are more middle age, and so
Hmm.
they see the Facebook ad and they get impressed, and they want to book, whether they're commenting on the ad or they're messaging me directly.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I do want to like do work on um is I want to create like a free PDF, like
Yeah.
I want to be more of like a teacher to my
Mhm.
client. and I want to reach out to all of the people that answered my Facebook ad, but they didn't book.
Right. Yeah.
Because so that's like there's so many like things that you can get into,
Yeah.
as a result of like doing Facebook ads. But you really need to get the training on that, like, because if it wasn't for that training and proficiency that I received from your course, I wouldn't have been able to have such success with it. I probably would have done like a boosted post because you don't know any better, and then I would be frustrated, like, oh, it doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm so, so happy that your ads have been so successful. I'm so happy that you had such a good experience with the course, and it seems like exactly what you needed at the time and continue to use to this day. If anyone wants to check out the Ad Lab and learn more about this program that Genevieve did, you can go to joinadlab.com and you can get all the details there. And Genevieve, if anyone wants to check you out, learn more about your spa, your services, or about your upcoming educational classes that you're putting on, how can they find you?
Oh, well, that's easy. I'm on Instagram at 360 Beauty Maven. So 360 Beauty Maven. And I have links to my email list, and also I have links to my aesthetics practice. So
Amazing.
yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on, sharing your story with me. It's so inspiring. I'm so happy for all the cool things that you've done this past year and the amazing things that you're going to be doing in the future, Genevieve. So thank you so much for chatting with me.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right. Talk to you soon. Thanks so
All right.
much.
Yep.